when you're just walking around out here randomly doing this with no purpose, that's bizarre. Why would you do that? Another thing, and this might be what Tom was trying to get to. This horse is on the circle. Now, I'm flagging him. Well, my horse knows he better do something different. But if you take this tool and use it constantly, it means nothing. Look at him. He's not even paying attention to me. This thing means nothing. But if you only use it once, he backed up. Now I'm going to pet him because he did good. So don't. If you're getting what you ask for, you need to quit asking. If that meant you had to use your hand and your tools at the same time, and they're doing what you want, leave them alone. That's their reward. Now, we only have a couple minutes left.
It's only 2:30. It's only 2:30.
I thought I was done at 2:45.
You are done at 2:45.
Okay.
You got 15 minutes.
So, we are making saddle horses, aren't we?
All right, let me get out of your way now.
I show a lot of horses in In-Hand Trail, and Sunday afternoon at the In-Hand Trail Clinic, you will see how I approach that whole deal. And we've had some success doing it. But the only reason that we started showing In-Hand Trail was so we could see how effective our groundwork was. Because ultimately, this is a saddle horse, not a fifth level groundwork horse. That being said, at the end of every work, I will sit on this horse. That will become part of his future. Can I do it today? I don't know. I've showed him a little bit how to follow a field. We'll see if I can get it to happen.
Hey, don't you
Just be advised,
cool. You can do it.
it'd be on me for not having a good enough field. It wouldn't be on him. He'll come up here and get a little cuddle. So at the end of every work, I'm going to spend 10 minutes above him.
You're in my way.
Because ultimately you want to be above him, don't you? Well, if you never get above him, and then the first time you do it scares him, whose fault's that? So I bring him over here, pick up, get that hip, bring him up here, get the shoulder. He stepped into me. Not too bad for a horse that's never been to town, and he's scared to death, but if we've worked on him following a field, we haven't worked on him to mind us, we've worked on him to follow the field that we present to him. And we've already showed him two different ways to read our intentions. Beating him to a stop. Here's another way. It's probably above his pay grade, but that's okay. I'm going to go like this. And what I want him to do is let me pet his jaw. You see that pole, how level that pole is? If I run out of time doing this, I'll touch on it tomorrow. How many of you here have seen people flex horses? How many of you here have seen people flex horses correctly? Okay, that's on. If this was a bridle horse, and there's a bridle horse guy standing right there, feel free to ask him. If this was a bridle horse, he would come around here with a level pole, no twist in his spine. See that pole, how level it is? Right there, he's starting to drop his ear. That's as far as he knows how. Putting putting that nose on his belly, that's called pulling. Hackamore guys do that to stay alive. Send them past you, take a hip lock, and tear his head off. That'll get him to where you can bend him and not die. But this horse isn't that way. He don't need that. He needs to learn how to be balanced all the time. If he was to just stick his nose on his rib cage, he would have to twist his head. Here's his ears. Now he's touching his rib cage with his nose, but this ear's down. If this ear is down, that spins his spine. If his spine is not straight, he can't turn around. So from day one, why teach him something bad? I have had the privilege of riding with bridle horse guys in a spade bit that could just pick up and scratch their horses right between the eyes while they were sitting in the saddle. And those horses' ears were dead bang level. Extraordinary bridle horse guys. Now I'm going to ask him to flex here. Keep in mind we want him level. Right there he dropped his ear. So when they drop their ear, I'll do it so you can see. I'll ask him again. Watch this hand. I'm going to ask him to flex. I'll put my hand on his nose. There, he's level. I'll wait for him. He'll find a place to get stopped. There, he's level. Quit. You can build on that. What you can't build on is horses that walk around like this while they're being flexed. Those horses couldn't turn around in the back of a stock truck. And you spend the whole riding career of that horse beating on that shoulder, and you taught the horse how to do it. That's why, when we're working with these baby horses, if you just changed how you look at groundwork, we're not making groundwork horses level 15. We're making bridle horses, but we're starting 2 years early. Even a half-wit could get it done if he knew what a bridle horse was supposed to look like. I think that Loki has had enough. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to wrap this deal up.
I got one for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you ever have to correct a horse with the proper way to correct it?
If you have to correct a horse was the question. There's a pretty good chance that you missed what went wrong before you had to correct it. Ray and Tom used to say, fix it before. It's not the problem that happened. It's what happened before that problem that caused you your grief. So if we're riders and not passengers, let's just say Loki bit my foot while I was riding him. I wouldn't punish him for biting my foot because I'm dumb. He had to bend his head to bite my foot. If he'd have bent his head and I fixed it then, my foot never would have got broke or bit. Simple. So if your horse is falling across the trail this way, stand him up, go that way. Don't wait till he falls in the ditch so you can beat him with your spurs and your rope and your reins. It's what went wrong. And yes, if you're 100% confident that your horse knows exactly what it did wrong, punish him. But if you're not 100% confident that that horse knew that was wrong, educate him. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not some cosmic carrot feeder. I get horses at home that I'll chase around. And I'll thump on them because I feel like they're trying to kill me. But when we reach a point where we're like this, there's no place in here for violence. There's no place in here for a sense of urgency either. This horse has got years. We're way ahead of the curve on this horse. I'm going to put, if I had my Hackamore or Bozell on him, look at that. He bridled up and backed up a step. It's already starting. The thing that'll cause it to fail is the human in their hands. He's not allowed to touch me, remember? Rule number 1. So instead of dinging on him constantly, maybe I'll just grab him right here and go to touching on him. He's saying, hey, bud, I need some comfort. These people are crazy. So I'll go to rubbing on him. Because ultimately, I don't care what you guys think of me. I really don't. You don't have to do none of this. I'm 64 years old and I'm doing what I do for these guys. I got nothing to sell, no tapes, no videos, no tools. I want you to get along with your horses. And there's a way to do that, and it don't involve violence. I'm done, guys. Yes, sir. If they're afraid of the flag, check this out. Check this out. If this horse won't let me do this, well, I'm going to do this. The only reason that I still have a lifeline on him is because I don't want him to get loose and stampede around here and run from this thing. I don't want him to learn how to run away from me. I don't do any liberty work until, some of them I don't do liberty work with them until I'm riding them. I don't want him to learn how to go around the pen looking to the outside. I don't want him learning how to control his own speed. Because ultimately I'd like a walk, trot, and canter, or walk, trot, low at all 3 speeds because of my intentions. And I can't teach that at liberty, letting him run amok. I just can't do it. Now you're going to get horses that are not this quiet. The rules are still the same. If you have to rope him and get at the end of the 30-foot rope because this horse is coming down the line trying to kill you, rope him. Go to the end of your 30-foot rope. Teach him about the flag 30 feet away. When he faces you, quit. Pretty quick, you flag him, and that's their reward. So if he was stampeding out through here and because I was doing this, as soon as he stopped and looked at me, I quit. Only takes a couple of days of that, and you wiggle that flag, they'll face up and look at you. He's wanting to right now. Reward.